Hi. Well, more progress on the DP1 back. We have now the under tray from the fuel tank to the basically back of the gearbox or thereabouts. So we now have the start of the diffuser. So the diffuser starts basically where the front of the engine and the fuel tank stops, and comes up at a steady 8 degrees and comes to the back. Roughly where the tyres are at the moment. There is another about how would we say was about another half a metre to go from here to the back of the car. I'll explain that in a minute. So if we look on the top of the diffuser, we are just missing the AC pump and alternator. And we look on this side, missing all the exhaust. There is a small minor problem with the scavenger turn on the dry sump pump for the turbos, but we have a solution for that, so that's not a problem. And we've now got the pan underneath, flat underneath, you can just about see it. So now we now have our 2 tunnels starting. Now if we look, excuse me, let's go on the floor, can video a bit better. The lower wishbone is the only thing now that's going to go into the tunnel. Now the push rod will miss, the drive shaft will be above. Could have raised this up a little bit more and increased the angle, but just to be safe, more safe than sorry, kept the drive shaft out, and basically made it a little bit simpler. It means that we've got an 8 degree angle now on here. The car rake is only about a 1/4 degree. So the max we're going to be on this is about 8.3 degrees or something, and that's perfectly safe for a diffuser, or normally. Now the round tube wishbones, the solution to basically reducing their drag inside the tunnel is we will put an aero profile around the 2 wishbones. We'll just do it in probably fiberglass to start off with, but we'll make a nice profile out of carbon at some point and put them over the top. Basically just to guide the air over them so they're not causing any issues. Obviously you want the air to drive up inside the diffuser, so putting a perfectly horizontally straight aero profile on the wishbone doesn't make sense. So we'll probably just slightly elevate the aero profile to help try and pull the air up. And the gaps, obviously where the wishbone has to go through, at the moment they're open because I've just literally clearanced everything to get the wishbones on, the wheels back on. Well, basically we don't need to go much lower than about down to here, so I'll build a plate to go around the back, and we'll put basically a sheet of rubber at the back there, and we'll cut the rubber around the wishbone roughly where it is at normal ride height, and then we'll just slot the rubber top and bottom just to try and fill in as much of those holes. This side we might do something similar. There is a slight where the rear plate comes through, but we're going to make we're going to basically cut off this corner slightly here. Oh god, I'm crawling on the floor, it's not so much fun. There you go. So I said from here to the back of the car will be a composite part, and we'll then we can be able to finish the back of the rear clip itself. So here's those panels we used to clamp and pull the surface back in correctly. I think I mentioned that before. You can see the bolts and the clamps, they're basically done just to stop the clip from sagging. So all of these panels here, just ignore them. They're really just to get this panel into the right shape. So yeah, we've got our, I think I've took a video since we did the hinges. Excuse me. So we've put our hinge attachments to the bars. Now they do have a small gas shock, but to be honest at the moment it's kind of pointless. This rear clip probably weighs 40 bloody kilos at the moment. So much filler and alterations we've done to it, so we won't bother trying calculating the gas shock positions and stuff until basically afterwards. But the mounts are welded on. There'll be a tidying up to do, but basically the the OEM mounts from a different car, fitted quite nicely, so I'm dead happy about how that's worked now. Yes, this is heavy, so I'll see if I can just, there we go, and we'll put it down. There we go. So literally, you can now see the kind of profile that the back end of the diffuser is going to be. We will widen out slightly, just a little bit, not too much, don't want to go too dramatic and lose control of the air. But we will then get that kind of nice sort of tapered side shape. And basically just increase the volume a little bit on the width. The exact finishing piece for the center, I don't know. We might make that part of the diffuser and just bring another level in that comes up from the back of there. So that diffuser will probably be, I don't know, half a meter or so long. But obviously that'll be at a lot lower level. We'll see how it goes in the end. We're not, I don't want to get too complicated on that. But that's the shape now. Very interested once we finally pull the lightweight panel from the molds for this to see exactly how much it does weigh. But I say at the moment, then literally this is like ½ inch of filler in places, as a lot of the back end. But I haven't bothered trying to tidy this up yet, literally because I've got to get the diffuser done. So you can see where the diffuser finishes at the moment, and from here to the back, and will probably come out a couple of inches out of the car. Actually, it's got to take measure. There you go, measure exactly. So we will end up being not quite ½ a meter, so it'll be 450 millimeters probably. So about 18 inches. Nearest damn it. So it'll be a feature at the back. You'll see it stick out further. That'll probably end up being, I think that'll be the most rearward. Possibly back edge of the wing might be level with, but that's it. But yes, I needed to get the underbody diffuser started and get that rough shape, and came to the conclusion it was probably better just to fabricate it out of aluminium sheet. Nice and simple, because the first part is quite simple. And then we'll do the back, which is a little bit more cosmetic, but also we'll have vertical strakes, which will continue probably into the aluminium. How far, I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go along. But yes, it's still lots of sanding and filling on this. Oh, yeah, that's not a fun job, but I've got the body fit a lot better. I've closed this gap up now, so it's completely, basically I've got to sand it back to a couple of millimeters now, because really it's touching. Basically built it up with filler. On this edge here we put sort of parcel tape. We closed the clip, and it just squashed the filler out, and we just squashed the filler over, scraped it, waited until it went semi-hard off, and then basically took a thin modeler's knife and scratched the edge, and it separated quite well. So basically the 8mm gap or whatever at the top here is now basically all filler. That surface there is okay. Alignments here, our gaps actually there is pretty good, to be honest. The wheel is now nicely central in the wheel arch. There's no gap at the top, and minor front and back. We laminated a 3-inch return on the wheel arch, also a 3-inch return on the base, mainly for the mold. Eventually there'll never be a 3-inch wheel arch here. There'll probably be only, probably 10mm at the top to an inch or so at the front, maybe 2 inches at the back. But for the mold we need the large flanges again. So yeah, wheel arch is in pretty good. Dead happy with that. Other side needs a little bit. That gap's a little bit too big here, so we do need to put a little bit of filler in that. Actually, this needs to come forward a little bit. That should be touching. Oh well, one more adjustment. So yeah, wheel arch here as well. Only the condition, a bit of detail sanding, but the majority of the work is done. So this edge here was obviously built up because this had to come back to be sympathetic with the rest. So yeah, not really much done at the front, didn't really need to. Have bought the spraying gel coat, which is going to be the final finish. It's a Raplex 306. It's a white gel coat specifically designed for spraying. I haven't tried anything like that before, so we'll see how it goes. And we've bought the buffing compound. Never had much luck with buffing gel coat before, so now I've been told this is the stuff to use. So we have some coarse and fine buffing compound. Apparently you don't use water with it, you just use a wool pad, no water, and it literally breaks down the grit, and it becomes fine on its own and throws itself off, so you don't need to add anything to it. It's supposedly idiot proof. I shall prove that out hopefully soon. So the front clip, I say, needs to have the white gel coat put on it because I need to spray these to make the molded covers, and then I can do the headlamp recess. So that's probably the first thing to be sprayed. So yeah, side seal's pretty good. A little bit of playing around here. We're just trying to make the flanges in there. But importance at the moment is to get the diffuser built. So we'll starting that tomorrow. It's a bit late today. I'll start laying up some flap sheets of fiberglass. So we'll just use a sheet of aluminium or gel coat to give me a surface, and then we'll lay up probably just 2 layers of fiberglass. I want to be thin to make it reasonably flexible, and we'll start making some more fiberglass sheets. This is 3 layers. Do the same thing as this, and then I can start using that to manipulate and basically make the shapes that we need for the back there. Crazy glue, modeler's glue, hold them in place, and then we'll fiberglass to make them the right shape. And then we can filler and do whatever it needs to get the shape exactly where we want. That's a jack. Jesus Christ, I'm reversing into something here. So, yes, had a bit of a weak moment the other day. Bought a Capri of all things. Yeah, I know, it's the British Mustang, as we call it. Yeah, another day. But, you know, it cheered me up no end. I didn't think I'd ever find a Mark II over here, but I digress. Yeah, so rear diffuser. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more progress in the next 3 or 4 days, and I'll probably do another update, hopefully the weekend. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.